Hello everyone, this is your Maths Educator Lavanya, and today we are going to begin with Class 12 Chapter 4 Determinant. So in this session we are going to have the intro of determinant, then we will learn about the notation of determinant. After that we will learn about finding the value of determinant. After that we will learn about the expansion of determinant. Beginning with the introduction, what is a determinant? So we represent determinant in square boxes like this, where we have elements A1, A2, A3, A4, A5, A6, A7, A8 and A9. So we represent a determinant in square boxes where the number of rows and number of columns are equal to each other. So what is the first thing about a determinant? The number of rows is equals to number of columns. Here you can see that the number of rows are equal to the number of columns, and each A that we have written is called the element. So we can say that our determinant consists of elements that vary from each other. Okay, so how do we identify the number of row and column? So we represent each element with a notation Aij, where A stands for the number of row and J stands for column. So what is a row? This is a row and this is a column. Now representing this determinant in the proper form of a determinant by naming each element with this format, we'll write as A, 1 and 1. What does this mean? First row and first column. The next element will be A, 1, 2, where 1 is the first row and 2 is the second column. This one is A, 1, 3. What does this mean? 1 is the row and 3 is the column. The next element will be A, 2, 1. Second row and first column. The next will be A, 2, 2, which means second row and second column. The next will be A, 2, 3. That is second row and third column. Next will be A, 3, 1, A, 3, 2 and A, 3, 3. So this is the introduction. This is what we call a determinant. We're talking about the notation. What are the different forms in which we write a determinant? So we write determinant like this, sometimes like this, sometimes like this. So we call this delta and we use this to represent a determinant, or sometimes we write it just as D, E and T in the short form. Otherwise we write A and make two straight lines like modulus sign. It is not modulus, just it is similar to that. And sometimes we write it as determinant A. So these are the different ways in which we represent a determinant. Now talking about the value of a determinant. So how do we find the value of a determinant? For example, if we are given a determinant A11, A12, A21 and A22. So this is a determinant and we are supposed to find the value of this determinant. Then how we are going to find it? So we are going to first cross multiply these elements, and then we are going to first we will multiply A11 into A22 and then we will subtract it from A21 into A12. So this is how we find the value of a determinant. Now taking an example, we are given a determinant 2, 3, 4 and 5, and we are supposed to find the value of this determinant. So determinant value of this determinant will be 5 into 2, 5 into 2 minus 4 into 3, that is 10 minus 12, so it is going to be minus 2. This is the value of our determinant. Now you can try another determinant, that is 3 minus 4, 2 and 4. So you can find the value of this determinant by. So in the previous part we talked about 2 cross 2 determinant, but we know that a determinant could be of any form. Like in the previous part we talked about 2 cross 2 element, 2 cross 2 determinant, but we know that a determinant could be of any number of rows and columns. So how do we represent the number of rows and column? So we represent these by the letter small n, and let's talk about some other determinant. For example, if we are talking about a 3 cross 3 determinant where we have element A11, A11, A12, A13, A21, A22, A23, A31, A32, A33. If we are supposed to find the value of this determinant, then how are we going to expand this? So this is our determinant. So basically in determinant we specify a specific sign to each and every element of a determinant. We begin it with plus, minus, plus, minus, plus, minus, plus, minus, plus. So these are the signs by which we represent each and every element of a determinant. Now how are we going to find the value of this determinant? So we can choose any number of row or column, and then we have to multiply it with the others. For example, I am choosing this column, so A11, I am choosing this. What is the sign in front of A11? It is plus. So I am going to put the plus as it was, and now I am going to delete the number of row and column in which A11 exists, and the rest of the minor determinant I am going to cross multiply. So A33 into A22, A33 into A22 minus A32 into A23. Then I have this value, that is A12, and what is the sign assigned to this value? It is minus. So I am just going to minus sign as it was, and now I am going to delete this column and row. Then I am going to multiply the leftover minor determinant. So the leftover minor determinant is going to be A21 into A33 minus A31 into A23. Now what is left? The last element, that is A13. So what's the sign in front of it? That is a plus. Plus A13. Now deleting the column and the row, what we are left with? This minor determinant. Now cross multiplying this, A21 into A32 minus A31 into A22. So this is how we are supposed to expand a 3 cross 3 determinant. Now the most important thing, never multiply these two first, because that is not the right way. We always multiply these two elements first when we are multiplying the minor element. Now let's try out an example. For example, we are given a determinant 1, 2, 3, 2, 3, 4 and 3, 4, 5. We are given a determinant and we are supposed to find the value of this determinant. So how we are going to solve this? Determinant A is equals to 1 into 5 3s are 15 minus 4 fours are 16. Now we have the next element 2. So we know that what are the sign we assign? It is plus, minus and plus. We already put in the sign of 1, like positive sign in front of 1, but we have negative sign in front of 2. So we are just going to assign it as it is. Then we are going to multiply the leftover row and column. So it is 5 to the 10 minus 4 3s are 12 plus 3, and the leftover minor determinant is 4 2s are 8 minus 3 3s are 9. Now solving this, we will be left with minus 1 into 1 minus 2 into minus 2 plus 3 into minus 1. So it is minus 1 plus 4 minus 3. So it is going to be minus 3 plus minus 1, that is minus 4, plus minus 4 will cancel and we'll get a determinant equals to 0. So this is how we expand a determinant and find the value of our determinant.